She doesn't fall in love because you're rich. She doesn't fall in love because you're charming. There are plenty of cute, charming guys still struggling with women. She falls in love because of how she feels when she's around you, how safe, seen, and understood she is. And if you're chasing her without understanding this, you're already losing. Because women don't fall all at once. They fall slowly, in stages, in silence, through moments you didn't even realize mattered. This video will break down exactly how it happens, and how most people get it wrong from the very beginning. Love is not something you buy. It's not something you perform into. It's an emotional response to presence, leadership, and consistency. This isn't about sweet words or dramatic gestures. It's about building emotional gravity that pulls her in without chasing, without begging, without pretending. If you understand these 5 emotional gateways, you'll never confuse interest for love again. Let's get into it. Number 1. She falls in love through shared memory. Women don't fall in love with your bank account, your car, or your promises. They fall in love with moments, emotional snapshots burned into memory, moments that made them feel something they didn't expect. It could be the way you looked at her without saying a word, the way you held her hand when she was anxious, the moment you said something simple, but she felt seen for the first time. You might not even remember those moments. But she does. She replays them. She reattaches her feelings to them. Because her emotional memory isn't based on logic, it's based on energy. If your presence gave her peace in that moment, if she felt emotionally safe, if her walls came down even slightly, that moment becomes an imprint. And if you keep stacking those moments, she doesn't even realize she's falling. Because love, for her, is slow. It's a timeline of felt safety, not one grand event. Most people think they can win love with a big gesture, but one expensive gift doesn't outweigh 50 nights of emotional neglect. One romantic date doesn't make up for weeks of being distracted and disconnected. It's not what you did, it's how she felt when you did it. That's what she holds on to. That's why the man who listens during ordinary moments becomes more memorable than the one who shouts during romantic ones. That's why sitting in silence with her on a rainy night can be more intimate than any trip to a 5-star restaurant. Because shared memory is emotional memory. And emotional memory is how she defines connection. She doesn't care that you said "I love you." She cares that your actions made her feel it in small, specific, unforgettable ways. So stop trying to impress her. Start trying to be present enough to create those memories. It's not your money, it's not your words, it's your emotional presence that becomes her emotional history. And once her nervous system links you to those feelings, you don't need to chase. Because now, when she thinks of love, she thinks of you. Number 2, she falls for the way you think. You think she's falling for your looks, your charm, your vibe. But what actually pulls her in deeper is your mind. Not how smart you are, not how much you know, but how you think. She listens to how you explain things, how you handle pressure, how you respond to people who disagree with you. She watches how you react when things don't go your way. That's when she sees the real blueprint of your inner world. And it tells her everything. Because love for her isn't built on flash, it's built on safety. And mental clarity is the deepest safety there is. She needs to see that your mind is calm under fire. That your beliefs aren't just borrowed, they're lived. That you don't need validation to stay centered. She's not looking for someone who says the right thing. She's looking for someone who doesn't collapse when things go wrong. That's what she respects. That's what she trusts. And once she trusts your mindset, she relaxes emotionally. This is why so many people lose attraction without understanding why. They say all the right things, they look the part, but the way they think is insecure, reactive, unstable. She feels it. She feels when your thoughts shift based on mood. She feels when your emotions pull you out of your own values. You think she wants intensity, but what she craves is integrity. Because when she sees that your thoughts align with your actions, when she sees that your emotions don't control your direction, when she sees that your opinions aren't shaped by fear, she starts letting her guard down. That's when she stops testing you. That's when she stops wondering if she has to lead. That's when she sees you as emotionally safe. And safety to a woman's nervous system is irresistible. You don't need to sound perfect. You need to sound consistent. Because consistency builds trust. And trust builds the space where love happens. Your mind is your magnet. Not just what you say, but what you hold on to when no one's watching. When your values stay strong, even when it's inconvenient, you stop becoming a performer and start becoming someone she can depend on. And once she knows how you think, and she feels emotionally protected by your thoughts, that's when she falls. Not because you're trying, but because she feels who you are, without needing to be convinced. Number 3, she falls in love with comfortable conversation. You think you have to say something perfect. You think you need clever lines, smart stories, strong opinions. But what actually makes her fall deeper is how she feels when she talks to you. Not impressed, safe. Women don't fall for conversations that are loud. They fall for the ones that feel real, where she's not judged, not rushed, not fixed. Because most people don't listen. They wait to talk. They interrupt. They advise. They turn every sentence into a game of control. But when she finds someone who just holds space, who listens fully without ego, without trying to win, something inside her softens. She's not used to it. She's used to pretending, used to shrinking her truth to keep the peace, used to talking to people who make everything about themselves. But with you, if you're present, she finally relaxes. And when a woman relaxes in your presence, when her nervous system stops bracing, that's when emotional intimacy begins. Comfortable conversation is not about saying the right thing. It's about being real enough that she doesn't have to filter. She can pause, she can breathe, she can ramble. She can open up about something she's ashamed of and not feel smaller afterward. You don't fix her, you feel her. You sit in the silence without flinching. You listen, not to respond, but to connect. And in those moments, the world fades. She doesn't even realize she's falling. Because it doesn't feel like seduction. It feels like relief. It feels like, finally, I can be me. That's rare. And anything that's rare becomes powerful. So if you dominate every conversation, she withdraws. If you preach, push, or perform, she disengages. But if you can be still, calm, and present, if you can meet her words with grounded energy and her feelings with masculine stillness, you create something she's never had. Emotional safety without emotional labor. She doesn't have to carry the room. She doesn't have to lead the energy. She doesn't have to entertain you. She just gets to be. And when a woman feels like she can be herself without editing, that's when love grows in the space between your words. Number 4, she falls for who you are when things get hard. Attraction starts in peace, but love Love starts in tension. She watches how you move when everything is falling apart. Not what you say, but how you carry the storm. Do you panic? Do you blame? Do you disappear? Or do you stay calm? Do you lead without controlling? Do you stand still when the world shakes? When you're emotionally rooted, you become her anchor. That doesn't mean being a doormat. It means being immovable in your values. No chaos shakes you. No mood throws you off. No situation makes you beg for control. She sees all of it, and when she feels your emotional spine, when she feels your presence doesn't waver, she attaches, not because you're perfect, but because you're reliable. And reliability is irresistible to someone tired of instability. Be the calm, be the frame. That's when she goes from attracted to invested. Number 5, she falls when she feels safe, being herself. This is the part no one teaches, the layer most never reach. She doesn't fall in love when you impress her. She doesn't fall when you chase her, flatter her, or try to win her. She falls when she stops performing, when her shoulders drop, when her mask comes off, when her truth can breathe around you, because every woman has been judged, dismissed, labeled too much, too emotional, too sensitive. So what does she do? She starts hiding pieces of herself, shrinking the fire, toning down the truth, until someone rare makes her feel like she doesn't have to. You become that person the moment your energy says, you don't have to entertain me. You don't have to agree with me. You don't have to impress me. When you allow her to be raw without punishment, she begins to feel something she's rarely felt. Safe. Safe to cry. Safe to ramble. Safe to be irrational without being abandoned. Safe to admit flaws without being criticized. And when that safety is real, when you stay grounded even when she's messy, you unlock her most hidden level of emotion. Not lust, not curiosity, but devotion. Because she's been giving pieces of herself to people who only loved the mask. Now, for the first time, she's giving it to someone who welcomes the entire picture, even the cracked parts. You don't fix her. You accept her. You hold space without judgment. You lead without dominating. You let her be in full expression, and you don't flinch. And that's when she trusts you. Not the kind of trust that comes from logic, but the kind that settles into her body. The kind her soul feels before her mind even catches up. She doesn't fall in love with who you pretend to be. She falls in love with how she gets to be when she's with you. If she feels seen and safe without armor, if her truth is welcomed without reaction, if her softness doesn't have to be earned or defended, she will give you everything. Not out of fear, not out of guilt, but because she finally feels free. And once a woman feels free in your presence, you'll never need to chase her again. Because you've become something rare, a place where she doesn't have to protect herself. And that, more than anything, is what makes her fall. Now take your time and reflect. Love isn't a transaction. It's a slow build of emotional trust, built in moments, not milestones. She doesn't fall because you won her over. She falls because your energy never made her feel like she had to fight to be herself. And if you understand these 5 emotional gateways, you stop chasing her attention. You start earning her respect. And from respect, love naturally follows. You don't need to be rich, ripped, or loud. You just need to be real, grounded, calm, unshakable. Because women don't fall for the loudest man in the room. They fall for the one who knows who he is and makes it safe for them to be who they are. That's what makes you unforgettable. That's what makes you the one she never replaces. Subscribe if you're done with surface-level advice and ready to lead with clarity. Comment which of the 5 gateways you've mastered or ignored. Share this with someone still trying to impress instead of connect. Like this to help someone unlock the love they've been chasing in all the wrong ways. Support this channel and help bring this kind of clarity to more people. Because love isn't rare, but presence is. Let's change that together.